At our wedding, my fiance's ex showed up uninvited and she ran to hug him. I didn't make a scene. I didn't scream. I just walked to the microphone and announced slight change of plans. Then I canceled the wedding. I kept the honeymoon for myself. Her parents' shocked faces when they realized I wasn't paying for the reception were priceless. I am 32, male. I am typing this from a beach resort room that was supposed to be my honeymoon suite. Alone, with a pina colada and the sound of the ocean reminding me that I am free. Let me explain how I got here. 3 days ago was supposed to be the best day of my life. My fiancé, 29, and I had been together for 4 years. Engaged for one. We planned everything down to the smallest detail. The napkin folds, the playlist, the specific shade of ivory for the runner. The wedding was at this beautiful garden venue, about 180 guests. Mid-afternoon ceremony. The weather was perfect, 75 degrees, a light breeze, the kind of day photographers pray for. I had been a nervous wreck all morning, but in a good way. Getting ready with my best man. My dad giving me the "you are doing great son" talk while fixing my tie. I felt ready. I felt like I was crossing a finish line into the rest of my life. Ceremony time comes. I am standing at the altar. The string quartet is playing Pachelbel is canon. Flowers are everywhere. The sun is hitting the garden just right, casting long golden shadows across the grass. The guests are seated. The hushed anticipation is thick in the air. Then I see him. Her ex, the one she dated for 6 years before me. The great love of her early 20s. The one who wasn't ready for commitment. The one she swore was completely out of her life. He is walking through the garden entrance in jeans and a polo shirt. Not even a suit. Just strolling in like he owns the place. Like he is walking into a backyard barbecue, not a formal wedding. My first thought is security. We hired someone specifically to keep randos out. I am looking around trying to make eye contact with my best man to signal him to handle it. But before I can signal anyone, I see my bride. She is supposed to be waiting for her entrance cue behind the floral archway. The music swells for her walk. Instead of a slow, graceful walk down the aisle, she appears. And she is running. Full-on sprinting across the lawn in heels and a $10,000 wedding gown. Her veil is flying behind her. She drops her bouquet. I watch the white roses hit the grass and scatter. She isn't running toward me. She is running toward him. She crashes into him with this hug that makes my stomach drop. The kind where she is clutching him, face buried in his shoulder like he is a soldier returning from war. He has got both arms wrapped around her waist, lifting her slightly off the ground. I can see guests turning in their seats. The murmuring starts low and then rises to a buzz. My mom's face in the front row goes white. My dad stands up halfway, unsure if he should intervene. They stand there for 10 seconds. 10 seconds that feel like 10 hours. I am frozen at the altar, my hands clenched at my sides. She pulls back hands on his face, talking rapidly. He is nodding, smirking slightly. And then she smiles. A real, genuine, lit up from inside smile I hadn't seen in months. A smile that was supposed to be for me at the end of that aisle. Here is the thing about moments like this. You get this weird clarity. The adrenaline slows everything down. No confusion. No maybe I am misunderstanding. Just pure crystalline truth. She chose that hug over walking down the aisle. She ran to him while I was standing at the altar waiting for her. Whatever that relationship was, it wasn't dead. And I wasn't going to marry someone who would do this at our own wedding. I wasn't going to be the placeholder while she worked out her unresolved trauma with the guy in the polo shirt. I walked to the microphone. The feedback whined for a split second, silencing the crowd. "Hey everyone," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "Slight change of plans. There is not going to be a wedding today." You could hear the collective gasp. Someone dropped a glass. It shattered on the stone path. "I am calling this off," I continued, looking directly at the crowd, not at her. "I appreciate everyone coming out. I know many of you traveled far, but this isn't happening. The reception venue is already paid for, so please go there and enjoy the food and bar on me. Consider it a party, but there is no marriage here. My bride finally turned around. She was still standing with him 30 feet away. Her face went through 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, confusion, anger, fear. "What are you doing?" she called out across the lawn. Her voice was shrill. "What you should have done weeks ago," I said into the mic, my voice booming through the speakers. Ending this honestly. I handed the mic back to the confused officiant. I grabbed my best man by the shoulder. "We need to go now." We walked down the aisle the wrong way. I could hear her yelling my name. Her mother was shrieking something about fixing this. It didn't matter. I was done talking. The bridge wasn't just burned. I had nuked it from orbit. I drove straight home. I tore the tuxedo off my body like it was burning me. I threw it in the corner of the bedroom. I changed into jeans and a t-shirt. I threw clothes in a bag, essentials, passport, laptop. I called the resort where we booked the honeymoon, a week at an all-inclusive place in the Caribbean. "I need to change the reservation," I told the concierge. "It is just going to be me now. Can you switch it from the couple is suite to a single room and refund the difference?" They were weirdly understanding. "We can do that, sir. We are sorry for your situation. We will upgrade you to the executive suite with a private pool at no extra charge." "Thanks, I am still coming though. Flight is tomorrow morning." My phone was blowing up. It was vibrating so hard on the nightstand it was moving. Her mom, her bridesmaids, even her dad. I silenced it all. I didn't block them yet. I wanted the record of their madness. My best man stayed with me that night. He ordered pizza. He didn't ask questions. He just sat there and played video games while I stared at the wall, processing the death of the last 4 years of my life. Update 1. The confrontation. I am back home now. And the mess is worse than I thought. First thing I did when I landed was drive to the apartment we shared. I texted her from the airport. "I am coming to get my stuff. Be there or do not, but I am clearing out my things today." She was there. So was her mother, so was her sister, and surprise, so was the ex. The guy in the polo shirt was sitting on my couch eating my chips. "We need to talk," she said the second I walked in. She looked rough. No makeup, hair in a messy bun. Wearing sweats. "Nothing to talk about," I said, walking past her toward the bedroom. She blocked my path. "Yes, there is. You abandoned me at the altar, the audacity." I stopped. I looked her dead in the eye. "I abandoned you. You ran into another man's arms while I was literally standing at the altar waiting to marry you. You abandoned me first. I just made it official." He showed up unexpectedly. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. "You knew what to do," I said. "Your instinct was to run to him, not to look at me, not to ask security to remove him, to run to him while wearing a wedding dress, while guests watched, while I stood there like an idiot." Her mother jumped in. She was pacing the living room like a caged tiger. "You humiliated our entire family. Do you know how many people were there? How many saw you just walk out?" "Yeah. About the same number of people who saw your daughter sprint toward her ex in her wedding gown. I think the humiliation is shared, Diane." Her sister tried next. "She made a mistake. She was overwhelmed. You cannot just throw away 4 years over one moment. Watch me." I moved past them into the bedroom and started packing. My clothes, my books, my laptop, anything that was clearly mine. They followed me room to room, pleading, arguing, demanding. It was like a Greek chorus of denial. Then the ex spoke up. This guy had been silent the whole time, just standing in my living room like a piece of furniture. "Look, man," he said, shifting his weight. "I didn't mean to cause problems. I just wanted to see her one more time before she got married, to get closure." I laughed. A cold, bitter laugh. "You got more than closure, buddy. You got a hug that stopped a wedding. That is a hell of a goodbye." "That is not fair," he mumbled. "You know what is not fair? You showing up to someone's wedding uninvited in jeans to get your closure with the bride. Get out of my face." My ex-fiancée started crying, real tears. The kind that used to make me want to fix things. "Not this time. Please," she sobbed. "I love you, not him. He is nothing. It was just nostalgia. We can fix this. We can postpone the wedding, do couples therapy, whatever you need." I do not need anything except my stuff and my name off this lease." "The lease," her mother shrieked. "You cannot just leave her homeless." "I can actually. My name is on the lease, but so is hers. She can stay, find a roommate, figure it out, or she can move. Not my problem anymore." I had already talked to the landlord from the resort, explained the situation. He had agreed to let me off the lease early given the circumstances, but she would have to cover the full rent or find someone to take my spot. Her problem, not mine. I finished packing my car. 3 trips. They stood there the whole time, cycling through anger, tears, and guilt trips. Final trip. I grabbed my TV and PlayStation. She tried to claim the TV was ours, but I had the receipt in my email. My card. I purchased my TV. "What am I supposed to watch Netflix on?" she whined. "Your phone, or his phone," I said, pointing at the X. "Not my concern." As I was loading the last box, her mother played her final card. The financial threat. "You know we can sue you for half the wedding costs," she spat. "That was $40,000. Your half is 20. I had been waiting for this. I pulled out my phone, opened my email, pulled up the contract with the wedding planner. "See this signature line?" I showed her the screen. "That is your daughter is, and this one, that is yours. You both signed as the primary contacts and payment sources. I didn't sign anything." I offered to contribute to the bar costs, which I did, $3,000 that I paid directly to the venue. But the main contract, that was all them. I should mention I had this exact conversation with my dad 6 months ago. He had been divorced twice. He told me straight up, "Son, never sign your name to a wedding contract. Things can go wrong, protect yourself." I thought he was being paranoid. Turns out he was being smart. This is financial protection. Always protect yourself legally. Her mother looked like she might have a stroke. "So we are just out $40,000. "You threw a party," I said, shrugging. "Guests went to the venue, they ate the food, they drank the booze, you got what you paid for. Not my fault the main event didn't happen." I got in my car. She ran up to the driver, his window banging on the glass. "Please, just tell me why. Why cannot you forgive me?" I rolled the window down 2 inches. "Because you made a choice. In the single most important moment of our relationship, when you should have been focused on me, on us, on our future, you chose him. You ran to him. That tells me everything I need to know about where I stand in your heart." "That is not true. I chose wrong in that moment, but I choose you now." "Too late." I drove off. In the rearview mirror, I could see her collapse on the driveway. Her mother tried to hold her up. Her sister was yelling something at my car. I have been staying with my best man for the past 3 days while I apartment hunt. Found a decent 1-bedroom. Signed a lease yesterday. Moving in this weekend. She is still texting. The messages have gotten darker. Lots of "you ruined my life" mixed with "I will do anything to fix this." Her friends are deeming me on social media, saying I am cruel, heartless, throwing away true love over a misunderstanding. But here is what they do not get. It wasn't a misunderstanding. I understood perfectly. She wasn't over her ex. Maybe never would be. And I wasn't going to spend my marriage wondering when he would show up again and if she would run to him the same way. Oh, and the best part. Mutual friends who were at the wedding have been reaching out. Apparently after I left and made the announcement, my ex and her ex were seen talking for another 20 minutes in the garden, while guests awkwardly headed to the reception. Someone took photos. They have been circulating in the group chat. In one of them, she is still in her wedding dress. He has got his arm around her shoulders. She is leaning into him. That is not what shock or closure looks like. That is what comfort looks like. Like coming home. She chose her home. And it wasn't me. If you think I made the right call by walking away, hit the subscribe button. We talk about self-respect and boundaries here on Story Sparks. Update 2. The consequences. It has been 3 weeks since the non-wedding. Things escalated fast. This is what psychologists call an extinction burst. When someone realizes they have lost control, they escalate their behavior dramatically to force a reaction. The apartment situation imploded. She couldn't afford the full rent. Shocker. After I left, she had exactly 12 days to either find someone to take my spot on the lease or figure out how to pay $2,400 per month instead of her previous $700. She found neither. I got a call from the landlord 10 days ago. She had missed the rent deadline. Her check for her portion bounced. She wants to know if I would cover it just this once since my name was still technically on the lease for another week. Nope, I said. I paid my early termination fee. She has got 6 more months on her lease. That is what I figured, the landlord said. She is saying you agreed to help her until she found a roommate. Never said that. Never agreed to that. She is lying. Thanks for being straight with me. 2 days later, I got a string of texts from her. The landlord had filed for eviction. She had 30 days. Her texts, "You did this. You knew I couldn't afford this alone. How can you be so cruel? I have nowhere to go." I didn't respond. Her housing situation stopped being my responsibility the second she hugged her ex at our wedding. The X factor. Turns out her ex didn't stick around. Shocker part 2. According to mutual friends, he left town 2 days after the wedding disaster. Told her he came for closure. Got it. Wished her well. She apparently had a full meltdown. Showed up at his hotel at 2 a.m. begging him to give them another chance. He told her he was engaged to someone else. Had been for 6 months. Just wanted to make sure she was happy before his own wedding. The irony. You cannot make this up. So she blew up her relationship with me for an ex who was engaged to someone else and just wanted to check in. Outstanding decision-making. The family pressure campaign went nuclear. Her dad called me last week. First time I had heard from him through all of this. "Son," he said, voice trying to sound reasonable. "I understand you are hurt, but my daughter's life is falling apart. She has got no place to live. She is depressed. She cannot eat or sleep. You were together 4 years. Do not you still care about her at all?" "I did care," I said. "Right up until she ran into another man's arms at our wedding. She made a mistake. One mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. What she did was a choice. A public, humiliating, relationship-ending choice. You are really going to let her become homeless over this? She is not becoming homeless because of me. She is in this situation because she cannot afford an apartment she agreed to rent. She is an adult. Adults deal with their own housing. We raised you better than this. You didn't raise me at all. You are her dad, not mine. And maybe you should have raised her better, like teaching her not to run into her ex's arms at her own wedding." He hung up. 2 days later, her mother left a voicemail, way less friendly than her husband. "You are a selfish, vindictive little man. My daughter gave you 4 years of her life. She supported you emotionally, made our house your home, and this is how you repay her. By abandoning her when she needs you most. You are going to regret this. Mark my words." Deleted it, not engaging, the dirty tricks. This is where it got interesting. Last week I got a call from my boss. There had been a complaint filed with HR. Anonymous. Claimed I had been using company resources for personal matters, specifically wedding planning during work hours, and I had been hostile and aggressive toward coworkers lately. Complete nonsense. I used my phone for wedding stuff on my breaks, and I have been professional as ever. My boss knows me. We have worked together 5 years. He didn't believe it but had to investigate per policy. Reviewed my computer logs. Talked to my team. Concluded it was baseless. Noted it as a false complaint. "Between us," he said, "this sounds like someone trying to mess with you. Be careful." Same week my car got keyed. Came out of my new apartment building Saturday morning to find jerk scratched into the driver's side. Deep scratches through the paint. Filed a police report. Building has cameras, but they didn't catch the angle of my car. Cannot prove who did it, but come on. Not hard to guess. Insurance deductible is $500, so she cost me money even after everything. My response: I am done playing defense. Time to make things crystal clear. Talked to a lawyer, explained everything. The wedding, the lease, the harassment, the keyed car, the work complaint. He drafted a cease and desist letter, legal letterhead, formal language, basically said, "Stop contacting me directly or through third parties. Stop damaging my property. Stop filing false complaints. Any further harassment will result in a restraining order and potential legal action. Sent it certified mail. She had to sign for it. The nuclear option. Here is where I went a step further. Her wellness coaching thing. Turns out she had been using my Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime gym membership, everything. I kept it all active out of habit even after I moved out. Canceled it all last weekend. Every subscription with my credit card attached. She realized Monday morning when her morning meditation app stopped working. Got a text from her sister, seriously. You are canceling her apps. That is petty AF. I replied, those were my subscriptions for me. She can get her own. She cannot afford her own. She has no money. Then she should get a job. Not my problem anymore. The gym situation. This is the best part. The gym membership was a couple is thing. $120 per month for both of us. After I canceled it, she apparently tried to sign up for her own membership. They ran her card, declined, tried another card, probably her mom is, also declined. She threw a fit at the front desk claiming I had stolen her membership. The manager called me to verify. I explained the situation. No payment, no membership. She posted about it on social media. Long rant about how I was controlling her access to self-care. Several of her friends commented with support. My friends commented pointing out she ran into another man's arms at our wedding and maybe she should focus on that instead. She deleted the post 3 hours later. Final update. The aftermath. It has been 2 months. Time for the final update because this chapter is officially closed. The eviction. She got evicted. Had to be out by mid-month. She kept posting dramatic updates about being forced into homelessness. Her parents came through at the last minute. Rented her a tiny studio apartment in a not great part of town. Apparently her mother is furious about having to pay for it. The job search. Here is a consequence nobody talks about. When you publicly humiliate someone at your own wedding, people remember. She had been applying to jobs in her field, marketing. Started getting interviews. Then suddenly nothing. One of her friends who works in HR eventually told her. People are finding her social media. Finding the wedding disaster story. Mutual connections are talking. Nobody wants to hire someone with that kind of judgment and drama following them. She finally got a job last week. Retail, part-time, $14 an hour. That has got to sting. The ex's wedding, poetic justice time. Her ex got married 3 weeks ago. His wedding looked beautiful based on the photos. She saw them, had another public meltdown, posted a long Instagram story about toxic people. His new wife blocked her. She is now cut off from that entire circle. She texted me after seeing his wedding photos, I hope you are happy. You ruined everything. I could have had a life. Now I have nothing. Didn't respond. My life now. I am good. Actually really good. Moved into my new apartment. It is smaller, but it is mine. Got a dog, Rocket. He is a rescue mutt and the best decision I have made. Work is going well. Started seeing someone new. Not serious yet, but she is kind, drama-free, and thinks the wedding story is insane. The money angle worked out too. Never signed that wedding contract. Saved me 20 grand. Didn't have joint accounts. Saved me from her debts. Kept the honeymoon trip. Best vacation ever. Total financial impact. Lost 3,000 bar bill, 500 car deductible. Gained my sanity, freedom, and the ability to walk away clean. Math works out. The apology. Got a text last week from her. New number. I am in therapy now, working on myself. My therapist says I need to take accountability. So here it is. I was wrong. I wasn't over him. I didn't handle it right. I hurt you badly. You deserved better than what I did. I am sorry. I do not expect you to forgive me or take me back. I just wanted you to know that I finally understand what I lost. I hope you are happy. First genuine apology I have gotten. 2 months too late, but at least it came. I responded, I appreciate you saying that. I hope therapy helps, but we are not getting back together. Ever. What happened at that wedding showed me who you really are. I am moving forward without you. Do not contact me again. She didn't respond. I blocked the number anyway. Her sister tried one last guilt trip via email. You know she is barely surviving right now, right? She cannot pay her bills. She cries every night. You could help her if you wanted to. I wrote back. She is suffering because of choices she made, not me. She ran to her ex at our wedding. She failed to manage her own finances. She harassed me and damaged my property. Those are consequences. Adults live with consequences. Stopped contacting me. Blocked her too. What I learned, trust your gut. When someone shows you where you rank in their priorities, believe them the first time. People keep asking if I regret calling off the wedding so publicly. No, not even a little. She humiliated me publicly. I responded by protecting myself publicly. That is not revenge. That is self-respect. Could I have been the bigger person and talked it out? Sure. And I would probably be married to someone who would spend our whole marriage wondering, what if? Who would be texting her ex behind my back. Instead, I am single content and living a drama-free life with my dog and a woman who thinks wedding crashers belong in movies, not real life. To anyone reading this, who is wondering if they should ignore red flags or work through obvious betrayals, do not. Life is too short to marry someone who runs to someone else when you are standing right there waiting for them. She made her choice at that wedding, and I made mine. No regrets. Time to actually move on. Thanks for watching.